My brief time here could have been described as freak anomaly and accident amidst things that by comparison to everything else wasn't an encompassing, wasn't providential. It was a person amidst things that by rights were always going to be bigger than him. Everything I did would likely represent what a moment meant to every other, things that would transpire on Earth, and the future of it. And everything outside me, time says that, it's the truth, it is also a content offer me. I don't like statues, or thrones made of bones. With a guy promising rain. I must confess, there was grandeur thought of, but not defined by. I was not supposed to be as cavalier. There was at least the smallness of it. And knowing what I was not. An absolute, a guru or a master, or an owner. Or I did go on an adventure being good at things though, the worldliness was there. As well as the element of stranger things, there is one, whom is ravenously insecure with something about his life. He frantically demands, give me the Starship Enterprise. That is a very eyebrow-raising demand when you don't know the subject of minds describing things so linguistically restricted, but this one feels that something of property has been stolen from him. What he is describing in sentiment is something rather qualitative of people, but describes his grasping of it with predating desperation. A knack and claim for mental mastery with the articulation of what otherness could be described by. This is something of an intrinsicness and quality among people and doesn't really bear the nature of something that can be stolen or owned. But that's another deformity and a parasitic issue. The world of tomorrow and the billions of people not born, as entity, as epoch, will be its own expression of what it engages in the world of nature, of its own nature and its issues. There was someone, namely myself, who had the opportunity to define a portion of his life with some good night to rage in, if not dark-sidely at the whim of reality unknown around him. This isn't has always been a matter of things seeing and understanding. But what that ravenousness basically hates me for, and wants, is a validation. The ultimate, give me the Starship Enterprise, given the subject matter's most unstable, it's the undertone of, please take me with you, were the medians between a phone, an internet, an individual who is themselves a ready or not expression of things not instantly isolated yet, engaged with the internet. Where absolute does not encompass that, where entity outside everything else might be considered. Truth be told, the locality of him does not make him psychic or in control with his means. That will never not be true. But we have abused and been abused. We were capable of describing our literacies. Even if only analogous, yesterday was closer to itself than what damage had done to distance it, but either way hear this, there are people who deserve death out of empathy, there are people who deserve forgiveness after killing, where sublimation of an imperfect being exists. This person is neither, it's only as able as what predatory makes convenient. He has killed children by proxy and out of his own pocket, and continues to threaten our children for not giving him his property. Control is his nature. Even when he tries to back out of it, he cannot exist outside of it. Question him on it before he dies, given the subject matter. If we were for a second catering to it. He has no concept of no. No concept of what he does not want to ask. Especially when it came to other people's minds and lives, especially my own, is very insecure, and is by clinical definition, a psychopath, with the desperate need to convince himself he is a humanitarian. By default, with the methodology of a pedophile ring, which we are uncovering, David Miscavige, and the Church of Scientology, are a bubble-wrap cult, with no psychological literacy apart from what was convenient to leverage, does not heal deformity, though the firesides of the past years make only a meeting of good natures ready over subject matter before and after. We are in fact able to retain an openness to measure against their illiteracy. Though we may need to inquire and consciously remember. They are not an authority over an ecclesiastical issue. are not scientists, and are a morbid example of respect and a consideration for the human being.